Yo, what's going on, y'all? V-Rob here. Today, we will be reacting to a Dennis Rodman video, y'all. So, obviously, The Last Dance was last night. I'll probably still post a reaction video about The Last Dance, episodes 3 and 4. It did cover a lot of information, talked a lot about Dennis Rodman, Phil Jackson, the 89, 90, and 91 playoffs against the Detroit Pistons. So, it was a really, really good 2 hours, you guys. Cannot complain at all. I got a lot to say about that. But today, you guys... as I said earlier, we'll be doing a reaction video to a Dennis Rodman video that was posted 3 years ago and has over 2.5 million views on it, y'all. The title is Dennis Rodman's Tragic Real Life Story. I did not know that much about Dennis Rodman before last night, y'all. I absolutely have heard of him. He's been one of my favorite players of all time, especially from that Chicago team, especially from the late 80s, early 90s era in the NBA. I've always been a huge Dennis Rodman fan. Outside of basketball, I did not know that much about him. Let's just watch this, y'all, because I'm really interested, and there's been a lot of things in his life that has affected him. So, without further ado, y'all, let's go. Shout out to Dennis one time.
Dennis Rodman is one weird dude.
Facts.
It's hard to
he's a
forget
goat.
all the bizarre things he's done, but perhaps there's more to the story of all that acting out. Here's Dennis Rodman's tragic, real-life story, from childhood outcast to NBA champ.
Right.
When Rodman was 3 years old, his father went AWOL. Money was tight for the family, and his mother mainly divided her time between 2 jobs and church, so Rodman embraced the streets.
How would you describe what your life was like growing up?
It's like any typical black, ghetto little person.
The future basketball star lacked height and athleticism in high school. According to Sports Illustrated, he got benched playing basketball and punted off the football team, which devastated him. Rodman found work as an airport janitor after graduation, where he ended up stealing roughly 50 watches. Rodman was arrested and almost faced criminal prosecution, but his buddies gave back the watches in the nick of time.
Damn.
At age 19, he was homeless for 6 months after his mom kicked him out. Luckily, his basketball ability kicked in when he hit a huge growth spurt. After squandering
he was still
scholarship
skinny in
at
Detroit.
College, Rodman returned to the streets. Luckily, a basketball coach at Southeastern Oklahoma offered him a second shot. Rodman was determined to turn his life around, and he did. But in 1993, Rodman briefly abandoned all hope. He had 2 NBA championships at that point and had earned multiple accolades for defensive excellence. But as he recounted in Bad As I Wanna Be, he wanted it all to end. Luxury had lost its luster, and he considered taking his own life. Though Rodman would go on to win 3 more NBA championships, his professional forecast wasn't sunny back then. He felt suffocated by fame and just wanted to be normal. Thankfully, Rodman opted not to pull the trigger, instead saying he mentally shot an image of himself that he didn't want to be. If you or anyone you know is having suicidal thoughts, please call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-TALK. 8253.
Damn, bro.
While Rodman wanted to be normal in 1993, he dated Madonna in 1994.
Go,
which
W.
normal people don't do.
W.
In 1995, Rodman boasted to Jet magazine, "She wanted to get married. She wanted to have my baby." Rodman allegedly dumped Madonna to prevent, quote, being perceived as piggybacking off her fame. Rodman and Carmen Electra wed in 1998, but the sparks fizzled quickly and they divorced in 5 months. Electra told ABC she got involved with Rodman after losing her mother to a brain tumor and described their relationship as a passionate distraction from grief. Abuse allegations arose during Rodman's marriage to his 3rd wife, Michelle Moyer. Reuters reported that in 2003, police charged him with hitting Moyer, and during their divorce proceedings, Moyer asserted that Rodman, quote, had a history of domestic abuse. According to Dennis's mom, he couldn't stand booze until his father popped up out of the blue. Whether or not his father inspired
That's a
Rodman's
fire hat.
drinking,
Shout out to Polo one time.
1996 marked the start of an endless bender. Rodman purchased what the LA Times called his Newport party pad and launched an 8-year onslaught of raucous shindigs that prompted 80 police visits. In 2000, the same year he retired, a court ordered him to enter an alcohol program due to a DUI. In 2018, Rodman re-entered rehab after another DUI. Though he previously acknowledged seeing his adult daughter for, quote, a total of 5 days of her life, he told Page 6 he wanted to get sober in order to, quote, see his kids grow up.
Yes, sir.
While it doesn't excuse his suspensions, arrests, and abuse, the NBA's baddest bad boy has also done a fair amount of good. Perhaps because of past hardships, Rodman has a soft spot for the homeless. ESPN contributor Dan Feldman observed, Rodman used to pick up homeless people on his way to games, give them tickets, then take them shopping and give them money afterward.
Damn.
Sports Illustrated related that he used to drive through rough neighborhoods doling out cash like a mobile ATM. He also took homeless people into his home so he could bathe and feed them. Per the Chicago Tribune, when Rodman kicked an innocent cameraman, he received an 11-day suspension. In addition to paying $1 million fine, he voluntarily donated almost $577,000 to 11 charities. Doing the right thing doesn't suddenly overwrite wrongdoing, but it suggests he didn't always want to be bad.
Damn, that was a really interesting video, yo. I did not know all of that about Rodman, you guys. Damn. He has had a crazy life, yo. Damn. Yeah, the documentary did not talk about a lot of that at all. It did not talk about really any of that. It did talk about him going to Vegas during the 98 season, y'all, when Pippen came back in January. Rodman was like, I need a break. And so he just dipped for Vegas. He was supposed to be gone for just 48 hours. Jordan told Phil, he was like, this dude will not be back in 48 hours. Jordan had to go get Rodman in his hotel and had to drag him to practice. And he pulled up to practice in pajamas. First day back. So I highly recommend you guys watch the Jordan Bulls documentary, The Last Dance. I think all the episodes, after they get aired, they put them on Netflix afterwards. So I highly recommend you guys watch that, you guys, because I've been in love with it. But yeah, really interesting, you guys. Really, 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 really interesting stuff, y'all, with Dennis Rodman. He's one of my favorite players of all time, y'all. Obviously, we've heard the news about Kim Jong-un. Some people are saying he's dead. Some people are saying he's fine. Some people are saying he's brain dead. Obviously, Rodman's impacted in some form because Kim Jong-un and Rodman actually had a tight relationship. And he actually went over to North Korea a few times to check him out. So, anyways, y'all, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe. If you guys aren't here, thank you guys so much for your love and support. I cannot thank you guys enough. Keep staying strong. Quarantine is almost over, y'all. I can promise you guys that. If you're up about this thing, y'all, peace.